Hi guys, it's Shell, Heart of It All Custom Creations. Welcome back to another video. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Hit that subscribe button to see future videos. I post new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. So today I'm doing a little bit of a different video for you. It's not a tumbler. I've had a few people ask about my X-Acto knife, so I'm going to show you how I did it. I start with just a plain old X-Acto knife. This one is pretty well loved and looking grody, so I figured it was time to do something about it. So I go ahead and completely disassemble it. Now the tip and the knife part and then that little piece right there, I set it aside and don't lose it. So then the other two pieces I am going to sand so that our surface is ready to accept paint and glitter. So I just put it on the end of this little dowel rod thing, and then I go to town sanding it, and I also sand the smaller piece also. And of course, I clean it with 91% alcohol so that it'll be nice and clean. So then I just took, I tried to take some electrical tape and just go around the very top where the threads are. It was just too small of a space, so I knew I was just going to have to be pretty careful when epoxying that. So I'm using this teal colored acrylic paint and painting both pieces, and I am going to use this wet paint as my adhesive. I'm using CC by Peachy Olive Glitters. It's a stunning teal color, and I'm doing the same thing to the, I guess you'd call this the handle part. I'm giving it a nice coating of this teal paint and then adding on my glitter, and then we'll let that sit to dry. Once that's dry, I am just taking the littlest bit of epoxy on my finger for the smallest portion and just kind of spinning it around, being very careful not to get any on those threads. I am using KS Resin Liquidy Split on this, so it's only going to take a few hours for it to dry. And then once I get that top done, I move on to the handle of the X-Acto knife and do the same thing, just paying special close attention to technically the top of it, so that I don't add too much epoxy to where it'll stick to the dowel rod. And I just get a really nice coverage of the epoxy on this, and I do have it spinning so that it doesn't drip off. Once that first coat is set up, I just take my X-Acto knife and clean up any of the epoxy that might have spilled over. I tend on small spaces like this, tend to use a nail file, and it works great. And there was just a little bit of epoxy that kind of spilled onto the threads, and I'm using another X-Acto knife to clean that up. And I do the same thing for the base as well. And then I want to make sure that it does still fit correctly. And it does, so I'm taking the top back off and then sanding both of these down. Very few pokey bits, but still wanted to give it a nice even surface. And then I do give this one more coat of epoxy on each of them before this is complete. Now, the best thing about this, just like you would with a pen, you could do any designs you want. You could use vinyl on it, depending on what design, because a lot of vinyls have bigger designs. But yeah, so once that was all completely cured, this is what we're left with. And I'm just going to go again and clean up those edges of any epoxy that may have spilled over onto the edge. And you definitely want to be careful using the other X-Acto knife so closely down to this little one so it doesn't slip and cut you, because it's a sharp X-Acto knife. Now it's time to assemble. I get out a fresh blade and I'm going to put the blade, once I get it out of the little packet thingy, I'm going to place that fresh blade into the top of it, which I struggled with, so I cut out quite a bit that showed me struggling. Put that in there and then place the blade holder, that's what we're going to call it, the blade holder, into the top. And then we will screw that into the base. And this is what we've got so far. I'm obsessed with this color. But here's the other one that I had done. And I do have a lighter, almost mint colored one that I've done as well that I couldn't find. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd love it if you give it a great big thumbs up. And I do have a lot of X-Acto knives left that I just got in, that if you want your own custom glittered X-Acto knife, let me know. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.